7 Asempa FM Suni all talk all day. Ekosiisen dwumedi no asugu so a utie no. Me dey say bonso. Ene ye din komo using Kasoa as a case study where is the youth of Ghana and the state of the Ghanaian youth, where we want to go to as a country, the role the youth will play, and yebusa if the youth are indeed playing that role, you create opportunities no for the youth to thrive. And I say it is saying, where do we go from here? Looking at the solutions, then Nyoma was it to me. Where's Obi? Apart from the proliferation of malams and fake pastors all over media platforms, the open display of opulence by many in our society also influences some of these young ones to fool around. So sad. Jomo Pokwase Festus. I've always insisted that the ban on caning in basic schools is a major contributory factor to the moral decadence in our society. Back in primary school, pupils who evaded church service on Sundays were dealt with on Monday morning. Inspection was conducted at parade grounds from head to toe, uniform, haircut, fingernails, teeth, etc., including how much money one brought to school. Woe betide you if you were caught in possession of what was described as excess money. Today, what do we see? Dare do any of these things to a school boy, and parents of these very stubborn children will take you to the cleaners. I used to be a ruthless teacher some years ago, but I'm saying dear, Majaya de Chirenokra, Sir Obama, Pokwase. Shalom Obi. The time has come for us to redesign our national conversation to reflect what we want the Ghanaian to be like. There is too much fixation on politicians. Yes, as politicians we wield a lot of influence, but we are not the all and all of this country. Assuming all politicians died today, the problems of delinquency and undue exposures will not vanish into thin air. There are other major stakeholders like our religious bodies and civic non-governmental institutions. Then there is the elephant in the room, the media, which primarily for commercial reasons has become bewitched by the famous tracker syndrome. If you do not appear on the tracker, you would go home or your program will not attract advertising. Can we think about this for a moment? How much of the daily programming of a platform like Asempa is dedicated solely to nation or civic education intended to shape people's views about the pride and positivity of being Ghanaian? Criticizing politicians, entertainment, gossips, etc. make easy listening. Hence, there is the penchant to magnify those. The unintended externality is that we have created a cynicism for authority and a seat mentality in this country. We need to put stakeholders in a room and nominate the problems affecting our social cohesion and start constructing solutions for it. His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has made clear his intentions for Ghana to be on the fast track to development. We all need to put our shoulders to the wheel to aid him. I have no doubt that it will work, and when it does, we would all be the better for it. We need to redesign our national conversation. Kojo Frimpong, Wenchi, and Onodi Way Abba. That's quite a detailed one with some very interesting perspectives. Yeah, our own Kojo Frimpong. Yeah. Hello, Obi. I've always been asking who takes charge of our public space. I believe it's an institution in the public service, but what do they do with the mandate they wield for the management of our public space? This is what is fueling into the social upbringing. It is about time we demanded accountability from the people who manage our public spaces, which includes our regulatory space. Egbezwale, Ediodia Beni. Obi, Sikedro aka money rituals are fake news. Here are my reasons. Every CD note issued by the Bank of Ghana comes with unique ID serial numbers. Once vomited by snakes via this oh God. It was it. What's this? And duplicates? Please help. Guy G in the work New Jersey. But he raises a very important point. Or unless say maybe in the spiritual realms, no, ABS can be also one unique ID numbers that are a follow Bank of Ghana. But the point is, so what it says can be Kotadia. Who would take time to look at ID numbers and all of that?
I imagine they may be counterfeits.
Of maybe,
Which
maybe,
is a more plausible.
maybe. Obi, as a matter of fact, all this discussion boils down to our institutions. If they could work assiduously and without any disturbances, I think all these criminals will not be in the system. The NCA should kindly terminate and revoke the licenses from all these television and radio stations who have given these malams, fake pastors, and fetish priests the airtime to call for doubling money. Regards to Kojo Entry or Dame and Fred Opariansa, Margaret Dakwa, MCE for Suhum, and Charles Achampong, the MP. I have a problem discussing those murderers as children. They certainly aren't children, considering the mode they murdered the young man. Did you know that while they were being arrested, one of them was threatening the resident with torment when he's done with his punishment? Let no human rights people bring us any human rights, blah, 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 to obliterate and obfuscate the issues. Condolences to the bereaved family. I'm really pained, Obi. Ilyasu Tamale. And on the way up. Obi, the people we should target with this message are not even listening. How do we manage the situation for the school dropout, the street youth, the no home boys or girls? Those in that bracket pose a lot of danger. What is the way forward for them? And that's from my former boss, Sami Yerenchi, and on the way up. Message is the doors. But Doc, let's come back. But before that, in response to the test, Kojo Frimpong and Richmond Kwame Frimpong comes back and says everything rises and falls on leadership. That's a response to the test you just read from Kojo Frimpong. Doc.
Point.
Yeah.
Na ye best say ye wo omaimu pa ye we dey ye executive authority.
Yeah.
Na obi na kana sem say ombetima ye bibia just ye Daniel ba ko be ma na be ma ko ba. Ne senti no ye mpanimfo a wona esusu say wona besom ye no. Wona nsom ye.
Yeah.
The me ya say etode bia na tumi na owo no ebi ntiase ena ebi so de ye ne ensem fata ha adan meti ne bia mo boy na mo busa se nti abrantie na ekasasa ananyo no oh tumi bedi ni pansem a na afi a chance
yeah
na no ne ebesre se tumi no omamma e de hye wonsa ye de hye wonsa se besom ye ya fan hye wonsa se bedi en so na bu ye nkom Asempa FM na ni titru assemblymen e sha se free ho na ba parliamentarians na ba woni a
e wosro
ha enti ye besre se obi a wo odidi su bia no oh enwum bia yesu no no mota abon Saturdays monia sa se sonchini senchini irane da won fanya
she yeah I get a song
sa enkofo amabon di waya asase so enchine
the salt of the
earth and yes o kwa asori na o ye kremofo ana so ye nananom esum dabi wo ye banu difu a wo konkan wo kasa obi hwe obi tie nti wo asase so enchine nti se wo yira won chine ne da ye di wo ye hwe
enye bio
no nti ye hwe ho no ye pa na hwe ye man ye bibi so ya shemra se obi di mfie dunsia otumi ne obi koda odi fi edu enwotwe otumi ware
yes
obi a ono otumi tusa na mo mienu Ekosiisen na oye ne etraso a ne yesi o
oy minor
na adwemu no nti ye nim se na adwemu no no ene etumi kase ono ade ne petumi ne obi kokoda ekodi mpaso gro look I think say ye nation as say ye san ko achi
yeah
ekohwe yankasa ye mra ahyehyehye ni bi
ye wonioma bebre to recalibrate
ebi ye baji kokunma suban ene afa to ye ho so
yeah
And it's so important we go back to these things. Oh, there's also be a say Richard can be na youth no. Nyame de wa dom yen. Wo dɔɔso a kodana. Se we hu on so hwe. Na mmom se yetumi hu on so hwe. Na dandan we kunakuna on ye di want na year. Obeye a major force for social transformation. Oh, auntie, wow, yeah, Christopher, no be catch us. Say, in Shran Kanya, ne bohano.
Yeah.
Why am ma wom? Or we share what time for a prone ni mo when you mo say. Say, ye pesa Ghana, a ye Ghana, a mebuno no a woman. Ye ko a man for fro, ye could see a can ye near a man for frock or tanapon could din como. Na ye mebuno so ba, ye same fimoa.
Ekosiisen.
Let's see a shisha 1 year. Say, and shisha 1 year, that be beba. Yeshia wiase nyina abonhie mu no yense befem say hey na yemmebu na yede won ba ni me kai say manfi girls no me call on school ho me ko share won crying hwe on free Ghana how yeah. I don't know metie GS Penin Ghana Education Service Penin no
Prof Amankwa
Prof na obobo amahodo a try exams na hwe mai wo bon mmode enye no nko na esese yede to ya no na mum insɔhwɛ n'akyi no abrabomu ade ye no so etese esan se nipa betumi akɔ school esunu schooling and esunu education enti oba hu obi a wasua de na ɛwɔ ni so he's still not educated the teacher me call East Africa na those days we call na mameti asese utumi ka brofo se na city said den utumi chro no se na city said den on ka Kiswahili a we are illiterate yeah, maimons, yeah, what's our problem? And he must say, and penny for no, ye dear jamo, more some ye, more ye number to me, but it being some more human, or say be more humanist. Yeah. And I be mon so edit to me, I shall answer to me now, I cook one timum to me, deny ye one day. Now they to me no pray nipa. And we need to really do that. And we can say the sixth one here, godliness. Oh, nyamesompa a abodwe mu ka ho no e adenya de kese. Godliness with contentment is great gain.
Great gain.
There's a difference between godliness and contentment and a complacency. Enya de kro. Eto de bia wo kan bibia about contentment a. Many said ye didn't come about how he started his life and all that. And this is a gentleman who is an example for the young people. Watch me how he came with Ghana Must Go. And today he is not in a hurry, vulgar haste to acquire. A lot of our young people, no, they are looking for this instant millionaire syndrome. Is that what life is?
Is that not what the society celebrates?
No. You see, it's because we have highlighted that. I so busy sex sells. Sex only sells to the salacious mind. To the one who is not salacious, sex cannot sell. And for a very long time, many tertiary students and Edin Komo, SRC groups, women commissioners, when they are looking for corporate sponsorship, unless it's a beauty pageant, you won't get it. Say you want something like a creative, innovative program. Junior achievers near there. You won't get sponsorship. But just say the girls are going to be skimpily dressed. Some corporate executive will not only give money, he will come himself and sit there. And this is a scar on the conscience of the nation. Yes, yeah, nyamesum for. Yet harvest for so yet church eldership. And ye dear Rukasem. Look, when we do these things, san nyamesumpa abujye mukaono. It cannot be part of it. And so it's not just going to church or going to pray, but it's godliness.
Godliness.
Created in the image and after the likeness of God. Now, you bet me lament all the problems wherever it is, but I will see in your solutions. That is one of the reasons why 6 years ago, me and my wife, we dedicated ourselves to bring couples together.
Yeah.
It's an initiative. My friends Michael and Letitia Hinefa recently, they've launched what is called myleadershipfarm.com. Myleadershipfarm.com. We are calling 6 years. You can be formed at that stage. Because Sweden now, you be Chinese philosopher, say, give me the first 6 years of your child. I shall return them to you, but they shall be mine the rest of their lives.
Wow. 6 years.
6 years. Until you go Sweden now. A child under 6, they don't joke with those children. But a child under 6, ne papa ne mama kra hu ne hu faso. Apart from breastfeeding, ye di agro, ye to lullaby, no. That's all. But that year 0 to 6 is a very crucial window. World Bank website, Brain Development of Children. You read and you discover there are 3 windows they talk about. That's the first window. The second window is from 7 to 13 years. That's the second window. Then they talk about the third window from 17 to about 22 thereabout. If you miss these 3 windows, you are finished.
Yeah, you are gone.
But what do you call? Sorry, children's service. Who is handling the children? The pastor doesn't even go there. He hasn't been there in a very long time. And the children don't even know the pastor. The leader, the religious leader of that group, does he care about the children and who is teaching them, who is managing them, who is influencing them? It's a crucial thing if we want godliness to actually permeate the society.
And the power of Sunday school.
Children's service, children meeting. I started with children.
Very important.
You know, I started with children.
Yeah.
Those days, no? And these children became teenagers, and I worked with them. Teenagers, they went to tertiary school, I worked with them. Some entered into relationships, some got married. And up to today, 30 years down the line, I'm still in communication with many of them. And you can see the difference of consistent mentoring and modeling.
Yeah.
Oh, but young people, your concept be a friend of self-parenting. They will run the buy or say, Sami the buy or somebody that. Self-parenting. Why should that happen? Yet here, only pan of rural community no aba. Oba no ne adam fubi wa hase. No ne na betna. No mo da shop ano.
Ekosiisen on
na shop no da hono. Nobody sees a threat. See how drive in some places we have a lot of, informal settlements. People use shacks near there, but I learned when I went to South Africa that you can't call it shack. It's an informal settlement because it's derogatory to call somebody living in a shack. How do you call it that? Oh, and unfortunately, in society, what imagine now? Over imagine now, you. Into your imagine who are would now for found what time. No found what drink. Into an adjust the so now I don't know. We too so sa. If a penny movie call mine be sooner, or do airport no, officer of a taxi. Sir, come for. Master, I don't the year no. I want Jane who no money. No, a bell so security, who are bound bonny, electronic devices, cameras. Look, let it be there. Elsewhere, those things are nothing. They break through it. They break through it. Inti, as I say, you build this society, you humane. You what timama you. Now you man so share and won't say, me and papa what timma. Now one also decide timani be the yini.
Ekosiisen on
now one near a dear, what dear. Now so want to mean far umbusano. You see, and no ma your bought your friend of Kwasa for there, your born by a community care. As I say, you starting. Look, Obi say you share a dear Nasa. A Debbie Beba, Bibi bet 2 years, yan she year. You didn't, hey, 1 over, and there will be nobody.
With the 75% of our population are young people, Sisiano. From everything we've said, something that you model from Omunkwala Brim, that 0 to 6 window. 7 to 13, 13 25. Those 3 windows are very, very important. with the kind of young people we have now, you're missing these opportunities, Meboa. And I said, still we can do, because you get to Kasoa and said, yeah, 16-year-olds driving cars and registered with their parents even living in
informal structures.
Structures. But in Kuala cars, you move to Kumasi, Oko Ashtown, Oko Kofrum, Batakrade, Oko Amanfo, Oko New Takrade, Accra. There are some areas here trouble spots, no go areas.
Even Tema.
Indeed, the youth across the length and breadth of this country. Is there a point the makers okay? We are pressing the pause button and recalibrate. Now you're saying, and I say it's a lost opportunity.
Well, I say we are saying we are saying reset. So we are saying that we are a reset. Yes, you're better my reset.
Who should start? Why they was say taking the first move?
Yeah, obi bia we penimu or my Tiasia say o asudi o asedi. Asudi ni near okoda odwen ho. Asedi ye near ye de ahwa wonsa.
Say yeah.
Untumi ye wan akwadwo. That's number one. The tosumienu we batan eja. Obatan eja ye hia no ma mienu ema mmebunu. Baako ye frɛ no ejanom sunsum. Ne tosumienu ena abadayemo. A young person,
yes,
the spirit and the soul embodiment of a father or a father figure is crucial for the stability of the young people. The second one, the bowels of compassion of mothering. Eno na ma wonya tema ma wonia. Nti se won twesika nkotwitwa obi no. The bowels of compassion na ma me di dew mu no. Eno na ma wo ye nipa. But the ma wonya atenetene ne entity yepa ne subampa na utumi sonson ho no eno ye eja sonsom a odi wura
wo mu
na watetew no watetew na watenetene a wo mane nko ensaniem eno no so ye de tosomie no ehia de tosomie ensa ya ye wo bia etete mofra adesua bia edi mu akotene osom ebia ehia dam enso tosomie no yenu ye wa sudi kese pa se ye be yan hweso de pa a edutwam esan se yenu we've been given a privilege. Charles Everett Coop also you've been given a privilege and a responsibility. Nipa bebre wo wiansi nyina ye nya obia sa wona wo ye teacher. Wo ye teacher. O cherecherefo. Me class 1 teacher until obewu na me kai no be si bro we. Me class 4 teacher oda so tiase me kai no. Me middle school form 4 teacher Mr. Kojram.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Why do I remember these people? They made significant impact in my life.
Yeah.
At that young level. Inti SSC obi bia yama okwan setitim embebunu hu se udemu fo abaako. Na eye inshira pa se ubenya sa interaction with the young people. And now free hon so a media. Media wansam no edin. So I say can the media fidie so a brain a break.
Yeah.
Me namfo bebre wom. Nanso se me kan no correct. The di kan to de bia em se ho ye no doso. Yes, the media educates,
informs and entertains.
Yes. Near the see. But there is a fourth one. The agenda setters. They set the agenda and the conversation in the state. It is those 3 traditional roles. Now you actually define reality.
Yeah.
Into the media never can say no no cre, and no ne ho, and no ne ho. And found a wounds ukra. And especially your Maya perception is always the reality. As I say, your narratives, no meta narratives and narratives, no. As I say, in Comodia ye dino fidie he goes so far. That is why when you called me, I decided to stop everything because the power of the media. It's not in the numbers, but it's inability to define reality and shape what its listeners become. Inti media opportunity no ye shape nipa e mo be ye nipa. And ye betimi ama nipa nso be bibi fofo. And I know it comes in the audio, the visuals, and the written text. Into the nipa ne kind through print, the audio signals, impulses or receive, and a visual bombardment they get. So normal means say the boom. I call it the dangerous trilogy. A hit you. Now, nipa ma uye bibi fofo. So we need the media collaboration and partnership to be able to do what we are doing. And in Tina say, obit na media so now or incite. I was in Rwanda. Go and look at a beautiful nation. Incitement on radio.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
On radio. And he said, Yempindi for not tran radio no so. One tear say, abofre bi, akokwa bi, abrantie bi tie wa. Asama obeka no, onwene ho ba ko mienu miensa so to one mo, or the beye adwuma. Inti social influencers te say celebrities awonya okwan bab radio so TV so enne you do baby no na emma no nyina yi won ho sebi o shanda we no atwa video dia to bedwam and the young people felt say nipa seamless here we dia and they miss
that's the way to go
kwakodum pempen so a yi nipa ho ewo TV so me just say I can't get it. Look, go to the most liberal of countries. Thankfully, I've had interactions and worked in Finland and in Sweden. Been to many of the European countries. Look, Okra, Nyoma Yesheni TV so at the time I no. There you can't get it.
You can't. And sometimes it's
amazing.
It's unbelievable.
What are stakeholders doing?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Asempa FM.
I will leave the society with 5 things. The first one is self-restraint. Everybody must develop self-restraint. That also means state no. And emra oho you will be a friend of reprimand.
Yeah.
Say obi adia en na ne kwamua. Yen famra kwan so ntwena so.
Ntwena so.
Yen twena so keken se no. Ye twena so ayenhwe so de ato wa manchirimba. That also means a reward. Ese man no sheda bonipa abaso. And then I make catch Joy Prime for. Say, baby no be te ho no mo. Wa ye no one be innovative no papa te ho. Obian kan
highlight it.
But we emrantie mienu ya de omaye. Akofa subo kese abebo yuvina. Yes sir, it's as if we are rewarding wrongful behavior. Na me mpa ebon say yen rewarding normal papa, yen highlighting normal papa. Ebe boy. There also a 9 regulation. As I say, a bomodin says, I am running a muagogo. And I'm running be a horn so I share down fan to Jan Church Nipa. As I say, a chas ye church Nipa. Nano crackrano. Reformation. We need to reform people. Say, Mbrantia Samia Toy. And say, a Jan was Sana was say. They can go through reformation and become better citizens of the land. So whole mindset of if you want to jail, no one rot in the jail. It's not good spirit. It's not a good heart. Because if they rot in the jail, one day they will come out. And there will be a terrible lethal weapon against us. Intimidating prisoner, they are far better off than they went to the prison. It doesn't mean prison is a good place to go to. But inadvertently, yetumi buao. And this is where I doff off my heart for Chairman Nyamiche.
Yeah, Eric Nyamiche.
His leadership to ensure we decongest the prisons has led to these projects Ekosiisen here. People have been sarcastic about it. But look, the social transformation of that singular project, you have no idea. Because this is not just a prison. It's a place for reformation and training for transformation. There's a Brazilian who put up a material, training for transformation. It's amazing write-up. Now, Mentia said, we have persons here with all the researches that we have in this country.
And people should even berate an idea, say, you see, prison, say, And one comment I heard, and I was like, really? So the church should rather concentrate on preaching the word and yet building prisons. And I'm like, look, you don't even know what you're talking about.
A lot of the people don't know because they talk out of 10 without reading the history of the nation. Education would not have been education where it is, but for the church. Look at health facilities. Churches have health facilities, and they have been great assistance to the nation because Ghana's resources cannot reach everybody. I want to plead with politicians. I think the National Youth Policy and the deliverables therein, it is time we made it a reality.
Of course.
Of course. My name say it was almost there.
Yeah.
And then when there was the change of government, for 4 years, I haven't heard much about it. And it's quite a tragic occurrence. As I say, so that the deliveries in that policy is seen to be working.
Super.
Papa.
You've been a blessing to us.
Unless I talk about my couples retreat.
Yeah, very important. And I think in the spirit of helping parents to also help the youth, some of these things are good.
I did my comment who say aware boa batanyo and ejayo. And so ejayo ni batanyo to me boa aware. Marriage supports parenting. Parenting doesn't support marriage. It actually puts a strain on marriage.
Wow.
And the our for Volta Serene. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
From 29th of April.
Okay.
To the 2nd of May.
29th April to the 2nd of May.
2nd of May.
Okay.
You don't want to you ejuma. Diagnostics.
Yeah.
Now to the finest detail. There's no perfect marriage on earth. You don't need a perfect marriage to be peaceful. Now, the abua for beba. Na ya be this anko ya warrior.
Everything about marriage.
Everything marriage, including piemunsem.
Very important.
Now, ubebia. This is purely for people who want to come.
And they should be married couples. And yeah, courtship.
And yeah, make experiment. Okay. Opesa ubebia 0244 273368.
Okay, so Subiu into 0244 273368.
Pamocho. And yes, I be frekeke. Opesa ubebia.
Now,
Obo ofre also me haubi. That is having
it is 0244
273365.
68. Ofra Ubenya Elder Amos Kevin and na Opesa attended the Creative Couples Conclave Nibia. Now Odo
Conclave 6.
Conclave 6. Oh, okay. Wow.
Conclave 8. Nyame adoma ye de be go outside.
Outside.
You bet charter flight.
Fantastic. And I said I must come in and any attending Kano. It's been a blessing to us this afternoon. More when anyone didn't come on phone, Dr. Richmond Kwame Frimpong, solid insights for us. And Dr. Jones Opokuwari, criminologist and crime researcher, on also mine some very interesting perspectives to this conversation. I know and I believe in my heart, say when you're disua especially mebununa moji mre etie, this was very important to me that you listened, and I hope say yes, the discussions will continue. The discussions